Have you guys been in a relationship with someone and then it's like they have this presence? You cannot put it into words, but there's a presence of some energy. You can't put a finger on it. You don't fully know what it is. You don't even understand what it is, but you can feel a presence. There's an energy around them. It doesn't make sense. So these individuals carry very dense negative energy. Let us find a way to look at this so that you can understand this video better. So let's say, for example, you guys, they are out there. You went on a holiday, or maybe you're not together at the time. And this can be anybody. It can be your father. It can be, depending on which narcissist was in your life. They was not around. They was not in the vicinity. They was on a holiday. They was at work. They was at a trip. Maybe they went to town and the air is light. That particular moment, the air is light. You don't even understand. The air is very light. Nothing going on. It's okay. You feel better. And then something just clicks in your mind that, oh, these individuals, they're about to come back home. And the tension begins. I really feel sorry for victims of abuse. You just have to understand, I feel sorry. I was once one of them, but I survived. I feel sorry for you guys. If you are still in those relationships, I strongly believe one day you will break away. You will be free. The air is heavy. They are not around. The air is light. Nothing going on, everything okay. You can do a few things. You can move from A to B. No interruptions, no distractions. The moment you feel that they're about to return, everything shifts. When they're about to return, everything shifts. Things stop making sense. You start to feel the intensity. There is something like you cannot explain. It's like a very big cloud of dark energy. Even at the distance, you just have it just in your mind, just by you thinking that, oh, they're about to return. Maybe they're on the flight back home. That's when the tension begins. Now, you see, one of the things you need to understand, that energy comes from somewhere. That energy comes from it is usually from their past, because they have a very dark past history. Things that they have been doing over the years, the people they have hurt, the places they have been. A lot of them have been in places you can't even explain. Is where that energy comes from. It's coming from somewhere, okay? And normally, because they have a very dark past, narcissists have got a very dark past. They normally run into clean, beautiful souls. And usually you are the one that is going to help them carry that weight. Are we together, my chosen ones? They run into clean, beautiful souls because they believe you are the one that is going to help them carry that weight. That is a weight. It is within them. It has been always there. So many things they have not done, worked on, a lot of wounds they haven't healed, and they don't know what to do with that weight. So they run into a relationship, somebody who is going to help them to carry that weight. That's how this whole thing works. But it's very dark. I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen, when you have been with a narcissistic individual, only just for you, by thinking about them, something just terrifies you. You feel like your heart is popping out of your chest. You don't even understand what it is. That is the energy of a narcissist. It's very, very, very intense, very horrible. It is something I don't even wish anybody to experience. So it's a very dark energy. And when you're an empath, you have like this, you absorb a lot of that energy. So whenever you see a person like that who is a very dark individual, is why a lot of times you have felt intuitively. Let me say, for example, you ran into someone, and intuitively you felt they are not the right people for you, but there is something in there that, okay, you know, there's always something tells you, you know, you never know when you work out things. Maybe you give them a little bit of time, benefit of doubt and stuff like that. You're like, okay, you give them a chance, things could be okay, then maybe things could work out. But as the time goes on, you realize you shouldn't have given them the chance because they are very toxic. Something tells you, because when you meet a person, so they start to throw off, you see, because that negative energy cannot hide for so long. So they start to give off those red flags one by one. They start popping one by one. And you're like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Whatever they said, whatever they doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's wait. They give you a second one, they give you a third one. You're like, okay, they really look nice people because they're giving you this image. They are nice at this side, but then they are popping one red flag. They're nice and they're popping the second one. Now you don't know where to be. So you are there now looking at the good side of them, and then there are these red flags that are popping out of the blue, and you don't understand where to be and what to do. That is exactly your intuition. Did you actually, guys, many of you guys know that there's a lot of you guys who have been married to those individuals, and you remember on that wedding day, you almost wanted to cancel that wedding because there is something, there was a presence of an energy that you could feel that, is that really the person I want to be with, like for years and the rest of my life? You know? These weddings, they scam. Weddings, they scam. Let me tell you something. The moment you realize that weddings are scam is when you start looking at the people that are so-called married. And you will finally understand almost all of them, they're with the wrong person. They're with the wrong person, you know? We have been taught about relationships. Many, many times people have been talking about relationships. But relationships, ladies and gentlemen, there was not a lot that was said. There's so many things that they didn't talk about. And they didn't teach us. The most important things, nobody talked about them. The relationships are nice when you meet the right person. Who doesn't want to be with a soulmate? Somebody, yes, it doesn't mean that you have to be, it doesn't always mean your soulmate is perfect. I'm not trying to say that because you know soulmates, they are supposed to be perfect. No. Soulmates, yes, they have flaws. They have, human beings. They make mistakes and whatever. But they're not bad people, you know? They're not bad people. They are just people who are going to come in and understand you and connect with you on a very deep level. So I do feel for the ones that have really gotten entangled, because I don't know. It's really tough, man. It's tough, bro. I really pray for your freedom. I'm looking back many years and I'm thinking, all those narcissists I was entangled that I left behind. I'm now thinking that, what would be the situation now if I didn't leave? If I didn't break free, what would things look like at this moment? So these individuals, because they carry very dark and dense energy, they look for people who are going to help them to lift that dead weight for them. Because the weight is too much, it's weighing them down. So they need somebody who is going to help them to carry that weight for them. Is the reason as to why when you're with them, you start to experience bad luck. It's like they always have something following them, everything falls apart. You cannot build this, you cannot say this, you cannot do nothing, you cannot move from A to B. You're always stuck in one place because the individuals you're dealing with, they carry a lot of dead weight. So when you be with them, you become a part of that weight. You help them carry that weight for them. You become a part of them. Now you can imagine you married with a narcissist. And they made you say all these vows. Till death do us apart. Till this, until that, for sickness and weight. With a person like that, dead weight. You know? You're making all these vows with an individual who is carrying so much negative energy. So you're going to spend all these years dealing with their energy. And you really expect that you're going to grow, evolve, or develop in that relationship? Can't happen. So, once you start healing after abuse, you release. You heal, you release. You heal, you release. You understand that you stop taking things personally. You understand that that's how people are. Some people, they're like that. That's how they're always going to be. And there comes a time when you start healing, and let's say, for example, you come out on the other side, and you're looking at those people that you used to deal with, and you're seeing them for who they really are. You can really see them stripped naked, narcissism. You can see the beast. And you're thinking that that is exactly what I survived. And that is the truth. That is what you survived. So narcissistic abuse is not funny, ladies and gentlemen. It's not funny at all. When it comes to relationships, we are going to start choosing carefully. We are going to start choosing wisely. We are going to start being very, very careful when we are selecting partners, because sometimes a lot of those things that have happened to us have been the result of the choices that we made many years ago by choosing the wrong person. But again, I always tell you guys, it's not personal. Okay, this whole thing is spiritual. Narcissism is spiritual. There's a reason that's why they crawl towards you. You keep on attracting them everywhere. There's so many things to learn from these kind of relationships. But as the time goes on, you remember, yes, you had your flaws. Maybe you wasn't the perfect person. Nobody's perfect, but you know that you dealt with a person with a very, very dark energy. And that is the person, the narcissist. They call the narcissist, okay? So let us know what you think about the video. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in my next one. Denzel signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.